chop all these siege tanks now. Those drones really desperately trying to run for their lives. There's Wednesday Night
vVv gaming.
Not even bothering to check with us, so hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Game 5, it is going to be Time versus DaiSuki. Time representing Infinity 7, not vVv Time, even though it was vVv Time. Well, yes, it is the same player, just on a new team.
It was vVv Time once upon
a moment, yeah. Alright, Game 5 now getting underway. DaiSuki is spawning as the purple Zerg player here on the bottom left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Time spawning as the blue Protoss here on the top right-hand side. And Time is really known for, there's no other way to say it, his timing attacks back when he was with vVv. And we'll see if that is still the case or if perhaps he's adapted and changed his style.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't actually one who really forged fast expanded all that much. He typically, sort of did a variation on that expansion, but it looks like it is going to be a low ground pylon, so the forged fast expand will be coming here, and this map is perfect for it. You see he's got the pylon in the perfect position. The energy, or the energy field of the pylon is going to be hitting just the outside of the ramp and just the outside of that southern portion as well. And looks like he got a little bit of lag, but DaiSuki's probably going to be going for the fast expansion himself after a pool.
All right, so we'll see what's going to come down here. Time now just, normally just chrono boosting out his Nexus. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. We should keep track whether or not Time goes for a Nexus first or a Forge first. The probe going to take a look around and figure out and glean any information. There is no spawning pool down yet, and with that, Time may try to go for that Forge fast expand, as it looks like DaiSuki, oh nope, is going to be going for a spawning pool now.
Yeah. Yeah, I was about to say, there's 5 minerals in that spawning pool that DaiSuki wishes he could have back, but they are lost forever. Now Time is going to be going for that forge, and I think that it's a safer play to go for the, not safer, but a better play to go for the Nexus first here, as the pool did go down, but there's no speed accompanying it, so Lings are going to be really slow getting across the field, but we'll see. Maybe Time doesn't have things timed out, so damn it.
Yeah, I
can't stop using the word.
Yeah, it's very difficult to not use the time puns when you're casting Time, because it's there in your subconscious, and you try to use different words, and you may not even realize how often you say the word just because you're not trying to catch yourself from saying time. Anyways, we'll see what's going to happen next. Time's proxy pylon most likely will get destroyed. You can see a queen and 6 Zerglings already being trained to clear that out. It will fall in just a couple of seconds, as an overlord from DaiSuki should be able to park itself up on this high ground here and pretty much gain sight and pretty much keep track of both of the choke points without getting countered unless an observer or hallucination or Stargate are researched.
Yeah, I really like that feature of maps where you've got areas of the map where an overlord can get up there and give some sight until you just see medevacs or observers come out. It gives an opportunity to get a little bit more scouting, which can be pretty tough to do at certain points of the game for a Zerg player. You have to suicide Zerglings, a lot of active scouting you have to do, but that's a little bit more of a passive scout where you just plant that overlord and see what you can see. Now we do have Lings coming across the field here, and they might actually get down the front door or through the front door. Note the gateway placed down just on time by Time there, and now canceled, as the photon cannon going to pester these Lings that they try to get by.
Yeah, the Time very, very clutch with that wall off right there. He is going to perhaps try to reposition. No, he's not repositioning the probe in between. Instead, training up a Zealot to get in there. Zerglings do not have speed yet, I don't think, no. So they won't be able to run by. The photon cannon does, or would be able to dwindle those numbers down into perhaps a pair of Zerglings if they try to get by there, as DaiSuki now transitions more into a macro game as well.
Yeah, and we haven't seen Time play that much recently. Remember, he had some strange timings where he'd come with +1 Zealots and like a Void Ray or two, and I guess they're not so strange anymore, as other people have actually sort of picked up that play style. Maybe not from him, but it's definitely a decent idea. You can take on that third and sometimes the natural pretty effectively as well.
I am curious though as to what Time is doing. He only has one gas up at this stage, and Protoss is normally a very heavy gas-based army. Level 1 weapons upgrade is coming in, but the transition or the timing on this would rather indicate to me that he's going to be warping in a lot of gateways and perhaps doing a six gate or warp gate push. But he at some time needs to establish these assimilators. He's sitting at 30 probes versus 30 drones. But you see that DaiSuki's already establishing that third base and will have a mineral patch advantage.
You'll see how many gates are added here for Time already. He's got the one at the front door, and he's chronoing out the cybernetics core and the +1 much more evenly than we've seen other Protoss tonight. And like I mentioned, a lot of times that timing is so important, and I think it will be just 4 gates. So 4 gate is a really powerful all-in 1 base build, but off of 2 bases, 4 gates does allow you to put some pressure on that third. And especially with +1, it can be very powerful.
Yeah, what's interesting is that there's a Zergling on the ramp trying to make sure that a proxy pylon isn't established, but Time, being the good Protoss player he is, established that pylon there a long time ago. As the Zerglings are now trying to test that front door, they won't be able to get in, as the Zealots will have level 1 weapons upgrade in just a second. And with that, they will be able to slice through those Zerglings very easily. The Zerglings now realizing that, deciding to back off. The Zealots do have that level 1 weapons upgrade now, and we'll see what's going to happen as we now see a round of Zealots warped in along the north as well.
You know, without any roaches out, I mean, there is a roach warren, but you know, no roaches on the field yet. These Lings definitely going to melt against those +1 Zealots. And again, Warp Gate and +1 finish at the same time, and it's a really powerful timing. These 4 Zealots in the third might actually be able to take down this hatchery, as the first few roaches do come out, and these Zealots up against the hatchery are going to be able to take on these Lings, but decent surface area for those Lings. Still, those Zealots being very cost efficient, and now we've got a few more Zealots making their way down to that third, hoping to just plow their way through these Lings. Once the roaches come out, it's going to be a different story, but these Zealots could maybe get that hatchery, we'll see.
Alright, it looks like the Zealots want to go after the hatchery. No, gonna go after the Zerglings. It is buying a lot of precious time for the Queen to now be trained. The Zerglings need to engage, but the Roaches are moving much more quickly since they are on creep right now. Zealots once again battling it out. We need another round of Zealots to really finish out the hatchery. Time, if he is not careful, will lose to DaiSuki, as DaiSuki has reached the magical number of Roaches to push this back. And now we see an Overlord of DaiSuki able to get out some pretty clutch scouting everywhere inside the space, but he does spot the Templar Archives.
Yeah, he spots the Templar Archives, and I think he's going to spot the Stargate as well, as there are Void Rays coming out for Time, and this is sort of the style of play that we're a little bit more accustomed to seeing from him, that +1 Zealot pressure with Void Rays. It wasn't in conjunction that time, but we'll see whether these Void Rays are able to do much damage at all. There's actually going to be a Phoenix following the first Void Ray, and a robotics facility going down, as well as storms being researched, so Time investing in a lot of tech, and we'll see whether it pays off. I imagine DaiSuki's just going to out-macro the tech, and unless Time has some beautiful micro with these tech units, I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, right now Time already got a kill on one Queen at the third base. An Overlord looks like it will go down. The hatchery now going to be taking a lot of damage, as the Queen now making its way over. The Queen pushing back the Void Ray, but we are going to have 2 Void Rays here with that Phoenix, and if the Phoenix can get a Graviton Beam, that would be absolutely huge, as it looks like it's going to be doing exactly that. The Overlord, no, the Queen now trying to make its way over. There's the Graviton Beam. The second Void Ray going to join in on the fight. 2 Void Rays after 1 Queen. A new Queen now making its way over, but the 2 Void Rays should be able to focus down the Queen, and the Queen losing precious attack time trying to do an inject, so this is not looking good. Hydralisk Den still a little bit a ways away. Now it is completed, and we should perhaps see some Hydralisks, 12 of them being trained, but this hatchery still might fall.
Yeah, this hatchery down to 300 HP, and another Phoenix coming in, going to be able to pick up that Queen if they desire. But now it looks like the Spore Crawler will be able to fend off the air units from Time, and saving that hatchery just 318 HP, regenning ever so slowly. At this point, DaiSuki also taking a 4th, so we'll soon be on 4 bases against the 2 bases of Time, but it looks like Time's going to be taking his 3rd in just a moment as well. Both players floating a little bit of resources. Time actually up to 1,000 minerals and 500 gas, so he's got a lot of tech. He's got His Templar Archives already finished with Storm. I don't believe, yeah, there are just 2 Templar out right now, just banking energy and a little bit of harassment on this 4th for DaiSuki, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to defend it unless these Hydras are able to do damage.
Hydralisk now pushing this back. You can see that the hatchery is about 400 hit points, and DaiSuki must really love bleeding hatcheries as he's able to get up another low hit point hatchery and keep the Void Ray pressure away still. The 3rd base of time has been established, but the 4th base is now operational. Perhaps a couple Spore Crawlers will be added as the Hydralisks making their way across the map. They are upgraded 1-1, but here comes Psystorm.
Yeah, and that's going to be 2 Storms, and I think that's all the Templar and all the Storms he does have. So, yeah, here comes the Archon. This is going to be pretty sick timing for DaiSuki. These Hydras are 1-1, and they're going to be doing a ton of damage, easily able to push through the units here for Time, and I think Time's in trouble here.
Yeah, Time definitely in trouble. The Phoenixes, the Stalkers aren't going to be able to really do all that much. Hydralisk, just such an effective high DPS unit, even when they fight off of creep. And Time says GG. DaiSuki now putting vVv 1 win away from taking Wednesday Night Starcraft.
And there are just so many small, like, instances of like tipping points in that matchup. If he was able to